Good afternoon. I'm here, it's Lee here from Andertons, the captain, and I am stuck between the tornado that is Rob, the Monkey Lord Chapman here, and the hurricane that is Lee, the Roland man Wraith. And basically these two guys here are going to show you a couple of guitars that have just come out from Roland. I'm just going to do the introduction and then run away before my ears are melted down by the guitar force that's going to happen. So, just a quickie. Rob has got here the new Roland Ready Fender Strat. This is an upgraded version of the Strat that you might remember from a couple of years ago. Is essentially a Mexican-made lacquered neck, so kind of like, I guess, a Mexican kind of classic Strat vintage style trem system, but basically with a GK pickup built in. So for all you guys out there that have got any kind of Roland GR style product, you know, the 13-pin style products, and you've maybe done a sort of a Heath Robinson job of sticking the pickup on your guitar and you want something a bit neater and nicer, this is a super cool guitar because it's got it all built in with your up and down knobs and everything. Over here is an updated version of, again, a Strat that you may recall from a couple of years ago called the VG Strat, but it's basically the guitar itself has been upgraded. It's an American series guitar. Does it just come as a rosewood neck model?
No, you can get it in the maple as well.
Okay, so a rosewood or a maple neck model. And the VG Strat is essentially either a regular Strat, so you can turn the virtual guitar mode off, use it like a regular Strat, but it also has built into it a whole heap of cool kind of other guitar models and tuning sort of alterations that you can do. A little bit like what Line 6 have been doing with Variax. This is kind of Roland's sort of take on it, but of course in conjunction with the classic manufacturer that is Fender.
Who you might have heard of.
You may have heard of Fender. Rob is using an Evil Robot with a couple of cool pedals. Lee is using a Roland Cube 80. They're going to jam. I'm getting out of here. See you later.
So I'm here with Wraith, as you've just heard from Captain Lee, who's scarpered afterward to the stern to escape from the shred fury which is about to escape.
Death rays.
Now Wraith is a pretty amazing guitar player. You've got an album out called Ninja Guitar, haven't you?
Ninja Guitar. Yeah, there's a new one out as well called Singularity. Ninja Guitar's a bit older now, but
yes. And as well as demonstrating for Roland, you are an instrumental guitar player in your own right, aren't you?
yeah, and I do all sorts of different bits and pieces. I've played in loads of covers bands as well, and I play some solo sort of jazz guitar at the weekends, and a bit of teaching as well. So yeah, a bit of everything, really.
a bit of Gypsy Jazz.
Bit of Gypsy Jazz.
Now you use this particular system as some of the stuff you do yourself.
I have. What I've done, I've not done it for the recording side of things yet, but I intend to.
Yes.
And certainly for going out and doing a few of the live versions, rather than doing a lot of tap dancing, or switching of guitars to acoustics and all of that stuff. This is going to be really useful to me, and I think certainly as when I've played in covers bands before, it would have been massively useful.
Yeah. Because
of all of the modelling, Cosm modelling, switching between acoustic sounds and Stratocaster sounds and Telecaster sounds and a sitar, and you name it, it's on here, without having to tap dance or have any other kind of pedal in front of the amp. It's just this into an amp, and then you've got it all.
So it's just a really practical solution to having lots of interesting sounds for the kind of stuff that you do with the instrumental shreddery.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we've discovered today is when you play through a regular amp with a regular single hole pickup on a Strat, you do tend to have a little hum.
Yes.
But as soon as you switch to the modelling version,
that hum is gone!
The hum's gone, but the
it's
sound's
gone
still
away!
there.
Oh my god.
But all the sound and the tone is still there.
It sounds identical, but a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite riff from something you've written that you could teach the audience?
Right. Well, I really like a kind of harmonic minor kind of strumming thing. So
I was feeling that from you.
Yeah. Well, I won't do anything. Won't do any crazy shred. But just if you take a B sus chord, and then let the open strings ring, and I'm using the model Strat sound and just the.
So yo dog, we know you like Strat, so we put a Strat in your Strat so you can Strat twice.
Strats. So that's like a B sus2 with the open strings, and then I'm just going to move up to the C, and down to the A, and then back to the B.
So you're modulating, and you can mode over it.
Yeah, and if you do it, it's got I had like a groove in 9, so you have this kind of. flick around through harmonic minor doing it, so you get the.
That's really nice. So do you play with your fingers most of the time?
I used to play with a very strange looking weird nail.
Yeah.
And it's because I grew up listening to Martin Knopfler.
Yeah.
Wanted to play that, and then all of a sudden all these other players came out that, well, I discovered them. Playing with pick, doing all the picking things. I was going, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So I grew this weird nail, which just meant I was single all the time. So up until recently I just cut it off. And then I've discovered like using a really thick pick is great for alternate picking.
Yeah.
So sometimes I play with fingers, and sometimes I do a bit of kind of Brad Paisley
bit
type
of both.
stuff.
Yeah.
And if I'm just going on, hardcore rock, then I'm back onto the pick or Gypsy Jazz stuff.
Tell me what your favourite thing about this particular system is.
Well, I think
because we know the Strat's a great guitar. Everyone knows Fender make great guitars. It's a Fender Strat, but there's a Roland injection into this area here.
I really like, and that seems to be everybody's cup of tea, because some people will like the Strat tones and the Telly tones, and I love all of that stuff. But I'm a really big fan of sitar and sitar playing. So
you do some sitar shred sweeping for us.
Well, I love the fact that there's a sitar built into this. Some people might look at it and go, "That's quite gimmicky," but actually, from my perspective, it's like I've got a sitar.
Well, there's a whole new raft of sort of
and I don't have to learn how to play a sitar.
Yeah, and there's a whole new movement of fusion players coming out with sort of the Tom Quayle and the Guthrie and Alex. Yeah. Do more of that.
I'll do some
just
more.
sweep shit in that.
I'll just give myself a little bit more volume, so I've turned myself down a bit on it.
Yeah, I like that too. Did you get your love of that from Steve Vai Passion and Warfare by any chance?
Possibly.
From the Bengal Tiger just down the road.
That was really nice. So what mode are you in now?
Oh, then I was playing around with Mixolydian flat six, and then Phrygian dominant, and they kind of sit together.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the fifth mode of melodic minor.
Yes.
So if I'm playing a melodic minor, and I play from E, it's got that nice drop six.
And you're playing Mixolydian flat six, which is just major scale with a flat seven, and then flat six as well.
And then I was dropping into Phrygian dominant.
You were showing me a really nice six-string sweep.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't often get the chance to talk about technique and modes and stuff in demos, and it's kind of nice to incorporate that. There's Andertons reviews here this fine sunny day. That's a quote from Big Trouble in Little China for you. I kind of thought because you could do a little bit of sweeping and you had a really nice six-string shape.
Yes,
maybe you could teach the guys the shape.
Yeah, you can be right. I'm trying to figure out where I stole this from, either subliminally or I've seen somebody do it. And I think it's Matthias Eklund does this stuff all over the place. So basically you take a major chord, a bar chord, and then you extend out
to a 9.
And they're the first three that we're going to do. And so they're the first three. The next note to play is that major third. That's it. And you drop down into kind of an angular pattern like this. So it'll be, that's it, 9, 10, 12. And because that pattern, if you mapped out the major scale fretboard, that pattern's all over the place. In fact, it's all patterns, isn't it?
In
just
any
over
mode.
and over. Yes.
Because it's diatonic.
Absolutely. And you just move that around, and obviously then you can sweep from that one position here, and then keep moving this bit. So you can
and you have to move that position in stages of twos.
Well, you can follow a pattern in terms of the major scale that you're on,
on
one of the strings, and if you know it on one, then you can move it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just about understanding it in patterns. It's just another angle of looking at the...
So can you show it being used with some gain?
Yes, let's put some gain on.
And maybe like a Les Paul type tone?
Yes, okay. If I do the same sweep we were just doing.
Yeah,
And obviously you can move it around. So it's C major. You can move that to E minor. So you can flick between the two. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a very similar one, but I use in pentatonic. So, but for me, all I do is I go...
Oh, to the 9.
And then I do that.
Oh, okay, so you...
And for me, it's I've run out of licks in blues.
What shall I do?
Now I need something exciting to do, so I'll be like... And then that's the end of my my lick vocabulary is exhausted, spent, if you will.
I like it.
So tell me, what was it like being interviewed by Alex Hutchings for the job of Roland Dude?
It was very scary indeed. Alex is a lovely person, so he wasn't in any way intimidating.
He didn't go, play!
He appeared out of a hole in the ground on fire, raised his hand, and his guitar just flew into it. No, he was really charming, and I didn't think I realised at the time what a monster he was, as a musician. It's just unbelievable.
Why don't you show me the various tones we can get from this?
Yes, okay.
In a blitz style shred off.
Right, well, number one, we're not using any of the regular Fender sound there. That's all modelled Strat.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got that kind of typical Hendrixy. Really to be analog.
So this is model Strat?
That's just the model Strat, yeah.
I've got to say, that's really, really good. I mean, that sounds like a Strat. Tell me how this switching system works.
Well, it's quite simple. In terms of the Strat, it is exactly the same as a regular Strat. There's no change there at all. When you switch to a telly, for instance, obviously there's only 3 positions you can have on the telly. So what Roland have done is they've incorporated 2 completely new custom type of pickup sounds on both the bridge and the neck, and they're kind of wider and just a little bit more harmonically rich, I think is the best way to describe them. Give it a little bit more oomph to the sound as well that you wouldn't get from a regular telly. Obviously you can still get that kind of James Burton-esque. We'll switch the gain off here, I hope. By pressing the button, Lee. Kind of chicken picky stuff, but by flicking over you just get that little bit more oomph. So you go.
That's a bit more woody, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit more woody. You almost have like the John Mayer thing you were playing earlier, which was really cool, which I don't play properly, but it's something like that. It's got that more of a bluesy.
You're playing it wrong better than me.
So yeah, that's what's really cool about it. You've got the extra. It's almost like having that guitar, but then a little more.
Yeah.
But also having that Strat sound as well that you can play around with. And it's the same on the humbucker section. That's basically modelling like a Les Paul type of guitar.
Yeah.
But if you flick down to the bridge pickup or all the way up to the neck, then you've got those extra wide tonalities again.
So they're not modelled upon anything specific. They're just like...
No, they're actually completely customised new
That's
type of sounds that they've been going for. So you can make with them what you will, really. And it's the same with the acoustic. So when you flick to A on here, it takes you to the acoustic section, which was my kind of favourite section. And as I was playing a minute ago, the 4th position is the sitar. So I just love sitting there playing that all day. But I won't. The neck section is it's like an archtop jazz guitar.
Jazz guitar?
Yeah, so you
Could you play me some Gypsy Jazz?
I can play some Gypsy Jazz. I kind of...
When you're in an acoustic guitar setting, I understand this knob does something interesting. Tell me about it now, please, Wraith.
That's the resonance. So as you roll up and down on the tone, it increases and decreases the resonance. So it's sort of changing the body shape of the, emulating the body shape.
So as you bring it up, the body gets bigger?
Yes.
You were about to go Stairway on me then, and I'm going to have to stop you right there.
No, sort of give a. I mean, as I was saying, that's a kind of model jazz sound. So you've got the kind of vibe to it.
So now I happen to know that you come from a metal background.
Yes.
Which many people would probably find difficult to. Someone just fell over in pure shock at the realization that
he has no hair.
Yeah. So if you wanted to use this guitar for metal, what would you set it to?
I probably would stick it either on the humbucker section, or even the Strat, and really push it.
Just have
Iron Maiden style. Yeah.
So why don't you humbucker it up and get some metal tone?
Let's do that. Right. So I've got a distorted sound on the cube now, and this is the humbucker modelling. And also the cool thing about this guitar are the difference in tunings that you can have immediately just by flicking through these through the buttons here and through the knob. So the first one is one for every metal and rock guitarist, which is drop D. So immediately I can hear the E. Drop D, everybody. As a player, I mean, I've never really messed around with drop D too much because I've always had a Floyd Rose, which has always been like, I'm never going to get this right. But this is really good. It's opened it up to me a little bit more. And certainly with the tunings, if you've never played with a lot of these Open G and DadGad and all that sort of stuff, you think, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't know how to tune the guitar. B, it's going to take me hours to put it in, hours to take it out. You know, how am I going to learn to play in that style?
How does it cope with harmonics when it's in a tuned function?
I've found it's been fine.
Yeah.
So
if you like pick, squeal and bend, it doesn't go.
It's fine. Yeah. I try and get a. It's picking them up. I don't do anything strange in terms of that. Obviously, it's not a Floyd. So.
Oh, that's very good. So that's modelled?
That's all modelled, yeah.
I have to say...
So there's none of this kind of...
there is another brand. I'm not going to mention the brand, but there is another brand that has a guitar that also has a similar functionality with the tuning and the modelling. And when you hit a harmonic, it kind of has to sort of guess it. You can hear it kind of making calculations to guess it. Looking for the frequency. So there's looking for the frequency. That should be an album by Wraith. But so that's interesting. What kind of process is going on there?
Well, it's all through the MIDI pickups. So it's the same kind of COSM technology that's in the VG99 and the GR55 in terms
VG?
Of the VG.
What does that stand for?
Virtual Guitar Series 99, which is if you've never tried one, they're amazing. They've got all sorts of bits and gizmos and whiz bangs on them, but the modelling stuff on it's fantastic. But you needed to have a guitar such as the GC-1 or a GK3 pickup to use it. Which is in parts of it is a bit of a shame if you only want to get some of those sounds into one guitar. That's kind of the reason for this, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if being in a covers band, if I'd have had this, it would have just opened up so many possibilities for me. I wouldn't have to tap dance or swap guitars over. It's just a flick of a switch. I was talking about the tunings, wasn't I?
Well, I was going to ask, can you program your own tunings into it?
No, okay. They are what they are.
So you get natural...
But there's more than I'd ever used, to be honest.
So tell me which tunings you've got then.
You've got irregular tuning.
Yeah.
Let's kill some of the got the distortion on here. I've got the regular tuning. Then you've got drop D, as we've just shown. Then there's open G, which is G,
Like for
B,
sliding and
G,
stuff.
D, B, and a D,
Yeah.
isn't it? And then you've got a DAD-GAD, which we all know and love. And then the last one is a 12 string.
So no E flat.
No E flat.
Well, that's a chink in the armour as far as I'm concerned, because everyone I've ever known uses E flat.
It brings everything down by it. Right, interesting.
Which is that's
There's a baritone, which is bringing everything down to B, obviously. If you really want to get...
Give me a go on the baritone.
Yeah,
so can you set it to Dyna amp and then all the gain?
Let me give you everything on that.
It tracks really. I mean, there's no lag.
There's
no lag or latency.
No,
it's just immediate. You can't. You do forget you're not. It's a guitar, but you're playing. You forget you're being modelled.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a baritone humbucker guitar.
That's the modelled humbucker.
Yeah.
And then you've got the baritone tuning that you're utilising.
So what's a distorted sitar like?
Well, you could have a distorted 12-string sitar, couldn't you?
Can we try a distorted regular sitar?
Yeah. So
in drop D.
Yeah. So we'll keep that. There's your drop D.
Always push the boundaries just to see what can be done.
There's your drop D.
Yeah.
There's acoustic. There's a little
okay, and then sitar
and
is.
The sitar was
that one. So up and then one down.
Yeah. And
when you like really softly hit the note, it sounds like a Mongolian throat singer. It's amazing. That's awesome.
I just think it does open up sonic
weeks of
possibilities.
fun, isn't it? Yeah,
oh
I know
yeah,
what you mean.
absolutely.
So and then that's acoustic.
These are the
There's the models.
modelling.
These are the
These
tunings.
are the tunings, yeah.
So how do you know which one you're using?
You see a little
tiny hole.
little tiny hole there.
They've drilled a hole in the scratch plate so that you know where you are.
Yeah.
So Telecaster.
Yeah.
And let's go for natural tuning.
Yeah.
And sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really, really
I
good.
think so.
Well, I'm very impressed. What's the light for?
The light is a battery light.
What happens when the battery runs out, Wraith?
You start to see that flashing, and then it's time to go and buy some more.
But it still works as a regular guitar.
It still works as a regular guitar, yeah. You obviously turn off the modelling down to N, and it's just a regular Strat.
Yeah.
Just a regular Strat.
So when it runs out of batteries, perfectly good guitar, Fender Strat, still
it is,
works.
yeah, absolutely. Use that 90% of the time, but then for other things that you need to use it for. You know, I certainly don't own a sitar, two acoustics, a telly, you know, and those other things as well.
Yes.
And in a guitar that you then get used to playing.
And if I want to turn the modelling off and just use it as a regular Strat, how do I do that?
It's just N and N on both of those.
And is it now still engaging the battery?
The battery's still in, because as soon as you plug the jack in, it's on.
And if I unplug this, does it just turn off?
It just turns off.
There's no off switch?
There's no off switch, no, you're just in and out.
Okay, just in and out.
It's in and out.
Yes. Now, ordinarily, players of this calibre, and myself, would normally now jam and shred off and have fun doing some kind of Yngwie type athletics up and down the board. But actually, what I thought would be really nice is if we just kind of made you a backing track. So we're going to have a jam, we're going to play a little bit of lead and play some rhythm, but we're going to keep it really chilled out and cool. And then we're just going to basically craft you a backing track right here and right now for you to jam over. So when you've done that, why not send in your video responses as a response to this video? And we'll both take a look, Wraith and the Monkey Lord. It'll be in the key of E minor, basically.
E minor, yeah.
And it'll go to a Mixolydian.
It's going to go, I'm going to go E minor 11, for E minor.
So you can play
C.
E blues over that if you want.
Yeah, E blues over it, and now I'm going to go to C. And then I'm just going to use a couple of other chords from E minor or G major, because they're the same thing, really.
No, we're going to do the hand hug. So you do that, and then you bring the thumb around.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah. I've got another one. You do that. Well, this has been Wraith.
Thank you.
I've been the Monkey Lord, Rob Chappers, Chapman, and we bid you farewell. Come to Andertons and purchase these fine pieces of wear and gear.
Both jam something together.